And in tonight's Government Insider, the Omnibus. On Friday, President Obama signed a $1.1 trillion spending package that will keep the government funded through 2016. Now, this bill includes more than 2,000 pages of text, and we're going to hit some of the highlights tonight. Joining me, Frances Rose, federal government expert, radio host, and publisher of francesrose.com. Frances, we've got a ton of ground to cover. Let's get right to it. So this is going to give most cabinet agencies a 6% boost next year. Is that significant?
Well, that's significant, yes, but what's more significant than that is the fact that they know exactly what to expect in spending between now and September 30th. That's been the biggest problem as the government's gone from continuing resolution to continuing resolution. The shutdown a couple of years ago, they know there's not going to be any shutdown, and they know exactly what their funding will look like between now and the end of the fiscal year next September. So that's the most significant thing here, probably more so than the money, and they'll start to learn over the next month or so, probably be till the end of January, before federal agencies really have a chance to go through this line by line and know exactly what money's going to go where.
Are you hearing complaints already or concerns from certain agencies that were looking for more, thought they'd get more?
Well, so far it's just we're not sure what all's in here. I mean, this bill just signed by the president before he took off for Hawaii, and so we're in the process of hearing from the agencies as they're going through it and knowing exactly what they will be able to do and what they won't be able to do. The one agency that's probably the biggest winner here is the Department of Defense, because although it was done a way that the White House and the Pentagon didn't want it to be done by sticking a lot of money in the Overseas Contingency Operations budget, they do get even a little bit more money than the White House and the Pentagon asked for originally.
And this is also going to result in a little bit of a pay raise for federal workers. Tell us more about that part of it.
Yeah, it's going to be 1% across the board, and then there'll be some parts of the country where there'll be little bumps, and it works out to 1.3 across the board, 1.3%. And that's pretty significant because originally this was going to be another year of pay freezes, and it is a pay freeze for the vice president and for some other very high-level folks in government. But overall, federal employees get at least a 1% increase. And with the locality in some of these locations, some places across the country, federal employees will get more. And there's a sense that, yeah, they would have liked it to have been more, but it's better than nothing. There were pay freezes 3 years in a row. So federal employees seem to be saying it's better than nothing.
All right, so let's shift over to health care. This bill chips away at part of the health care law. It delays a widely criticized tax on high-cost employer health insurance plans. Frances, does this spell trouble for President Obama's signature domestic achievement? Is he actually walking it back a bit?
Well, he doesn't really have much choice and probably wouldn't have signed that piece of the legislation if it would have come to his desk individually. But this is a provision of the Affordable Care Act that nobody liked from the time that people learned about it, and that is a tax that is placed on very high value, very high coverage health insurance policies, and that money is supposed to go to help support Medicaid for low-end people who use a lot of health care, receive subsidies from the government, and don't pay much for the policies that they buy. A lot of it's Medicaid aid for the states. So there are some members of Congress that were concerned about, well, if we get rid of this tax, how do we pay for this other coverage? But by and large, members in both parties on both sides of the Hill didn't like the Cadillac tax. So given that, it's hard to say at this point that it's something that's going to affect the overall legacy of the Affordable Care Act, whatever that happens to be.
And we also know there are some significant cybersecurity implications attached to this spending bill, namely CISA, the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act. How's that going to impact federal agencies moving forward?
Well, CISA is noteworthy because this is a bill that Congress has tried. They've tried cybersecurity legislation a number of times in the past 3-4 years and haven't been able to get it through. They haven't been able to get it through this time around, and it's primarily because of different strategies in the House and Senate, especially when the Democrats controlled the Senate. So what's striking to me about CISA is that they stuck it in this omnibus bill, and omnibus bills are known for this. They're known for a lot of things getting put on them that don't have anything to do with funding the federal government, but have everything to do with bills that some people in Congress want but haven't been able to get through for whatever reason. That's what's striking about this, is that this is a bill that has sparked over the years a lot of controversy, a lot of spending by the issue advocates on both sides of this, whether it should be passed or not. And for it to just kind of be stuck on here, it caused people the end of the week last week to go, wait a minute, how did that happen? And that's the thing I think that's most interesting about CISA, Josie.
All right, and before you go, Francis, we want to focus on something Congress failed to do before they got out of town. 14 of President Obama's nominations for top foreign policy positions remain open. What is the holdup here?
Well, the holdup here is we're at the end of an administration. It's hard for the administration to get candidates who are willing to take some of these jobs because they know that, Congress comes back at the beginning of January, and whoever takes these jobs, political appointments run out January 20th, 2017 at noon when President Obama leaves office. So that's difficult in the first place. And then there are just various holds that members of the Senate are able to put on all of these nominations whenever they want. And anybody that has a bone to pick with President Obama can put a hold on his nominations, and that's what we're seeing here, Josie.
And real quick, back to the omnibus. We talk about this being light reading basically for the holiday, 2,000 pages. How long do you think we start to really see reaction from these federal agencies as they dig in, go line by line, and see what they get?
I think it's going to be the middle of January probably until they're really able to dig into it and see what they're able to do. I doubt a lot of people are focused on the omnibus text over the holiday season. And I think when Congress comes back at the beginning of January and the agencies get back to being focused on work like everybody else at the beginning of January, that's when we'll start to see, they're called Easter eggs in the budget business, fall out of this, and we'll have a sense of what's what.
All right, Francis Rose, federal government expert, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.